So another product category we sell are pots and containers. Now there's a few different pots and containers. I find ours to be a little more unique than most, but there's the fabric pot. There's many people that make these fabric pots. And plastic pots and grow bags as well. I'm going to touch on each of them just a little bit. The fabric pots, the biggest thing to remember here is that these work well as long as they're not too thick. Once they get too thick, the oxygen decreases that can go through the bag. We actually make ours a little thinner so the oxygen can go through and the plant can thrive. What happens when they're thicker and they stay wet is that you can get pathogen and pythium that build up on these. And so we really like to have these at a certain thickness. So we find we prefer our fabric pots over others just because of there's more oxygen that can go through them. With the grow bags, typically people that are growing a lot of plants prefer the grow bags. It's an inexpensive way to grow a number of plants. Remember, it comes down to aeration, right? So we have the holes in the side. A lot of grow bags I see have holes in the bottom. It doesn't do any good because once you sit this thing down, it's going to compact and it's not going to have drainage. So, if you do use the grow bags, make sure that they have holes in the side. These are also reversible. The white is going to reflect light. And the dark is obviously going to attract light and be warmer. And believe it or not, there's about a 10-degree variance between the white and the black. So depending on your temperature, you'll want to look at these. All right. We have two other pots that we make that are real popular. These are basically hydroponic pots, and they sit on top of a 5-gallon bucket. We do sell the whole entire system, the VDIY, do-it-yourself hydroponic system that sits on a 5-gallon bucket, sits down in here, hangs out in the water. We're aerating the water so there's lots of oxygen and bubbles in the water, and the roots love that. They get down in there and they'll metabolize the nutrients. Remember to check your pH, make sure that the pH is in the right place, and also know how much fertilizer you need to have in your hydroponic solution depending on what you're growing. This is a new pot. It's just very similar. These snap on and off on a black bucket. Fits both buckets. This is just a 4-site versus the 1-site. So watch for these. This 4-site's new. It's coming out soon, but it'll allow you to grow 4 plants in a 5-gallon bucket. The area I'm really excited about, I know it sounds crazy, but I love containers and pots, but our plastic pots, and I know a lot of you are like, plastic? No, God, not plastic. And I'm with you. But I am really excited here because we just signed a great big contract with a very big beverage supply company, and we're going to be taking all their recycled HDPE and making pots and containers where we grow plants. So I think it's huge if we can help it, not be bringing more plastic into the environment, right? Let's use what's already out there, and let's do it safely, right? It can't have BPA in it. These pots have to be food safe, and that's what they are. So if you're growing in plastic pots, please check our pots out. They're great for inserting into fancy containers or growing your vegetables right inside these pots. They have great aeration. And they sit up off the ground a little bit, so they drain. And that's another thing that's important when it comes to the pots.